find the square root of any number on the calculator, we just press the square root sign first and then press the number underneath and then equals. If we need to do any other operations, after we've pressed the square root of the number, we just arrow across and then we're outside of underneath the square root sign. So then if I had to add a number, say 6, onto it, it would add the number on to the answer of the square root. If you don't arrow across, it will stay underneath the square root sign. So you would have square root of 225 plus 6, and you can see it stays under there, which gives you a completely different answer. So you need to be careful of that. To find the cube root of a number, you can see that it's in the orange above the square root sign. So the orange keys, we must press shift first. So we would be pressing, shift, square root sign, and for this example 343, press equals, and you would get an answer of 7. To do any other kind of finding the root of any other kind of numbers, if it's higher than 3, there's only the square root and cube root buttons specifically. Any others, we need to be looking over here where you've got the little square coloured in there as another variable that we can change. So to be pressing, to get that, again, because it's in the orange, we press shift and then the x to the power of button. And then we've got this situation, so we can put the number in that we want as the kind of root and then the base number. So here we've got the 5th root, arrow across, and then we can put that base number in of 32,768 and press equals 8. On the series of questions that you've got, you can try them as you go through. You can check the answers and pause the clip whenever you need to. Okay, so for the first one, nice and easy, just square root of 49 equals 7. So making sure your answer is correct. For the next one, you need to do that where you have to be careful about what is under the square root sign and what's not. So square root of 4, you must arrow across first, plus the square root of 64, and then you press equals and you'll get a 10. Okay, trying the next ones, checking that you can get these answers. For part E, making sure you're using the cube root button. So by pressing shift, square root button, then the 27, and checking you can get the answer of 3. Then 2, 4, and then 5. For these ones, correct to 1 decimal place. Again, we have to be very careful about what is under the square root sign and what's not. Square root of 8, if we don't arrow across and we did plus root 2, that would all stay underneath the square root sign. So we need to arrow across, plus square root of 2, and then press equals. Now, because we're rounding to 1 decimal place, that means only one number behind the decimal point. Everything else we're cutting off. Because we're cutting off a number that is less than 5, it stays the same. So trying the next ones and checking that you can get these answers. For question number 3, making sure that you're using the cube root. So shift, cube root of 676, arrow across, and then you're timesing that by the 8.125, pressing equals. Okay, 2 decimal places, 2 numbers behind the decimal point, so we're cutting off here. So because we're cutting off more than 5, it goes up 1, so it'll be 3, 1 after the decimal point. Checking you can get the next results. For question number 4, when I typed them in, I just put in 5.25 and 2.5 because it was easier to press. But when you get down here and you've got harder ones, you might not be able to convert it to decimals easily. So just so you know how to do the fraction ones, we're going to go the square root, press shift the ABC button, or the fraction button, to put it into mixed numeral form. 5, arrow across, 1, arrow down, 4, arrow across to get out of the fraction, and then hit it again to get out from underneath the square root sign, times the square root of, again, shift, fraction button, 2, arrow across, 1, arrow down, 2, outside of the fraction, and then equals. To 3 decimal places, only writing 3 numbers behind the decimal point. What I'm cutting off is greater than 5, so that 2 will turn into a 3. Okay, so you'll be writing 3.625. Sorry, 23, because it was, sorry, I was thinking above 5. So as I said with this one, I actually did the square root of 2.5 because it's nice and quick on the calculator. So if you know those conversions easily, then do those. Then check if you can get the following results.